I have occasionally been a little tough on you guys, and I've been told that some of my work can be seen as a metaphorical 2x4 to the face. This might be a 2x4 to the face and a sledgehammer to the nuts for some of y'all. And maybe the people that it's most like that for most need to hear it. It might mostly be recent or soon-to-be graduates from high school. And I think a lot of this applies to graduating from college as well, I'll just say. Warning up front, this is stern and frank, and it has adult language. If that bothers you, you probably don't want to listen to the rest of this because you probably can't help you anyway. I am going to use the word F-U-C-K. I'm not using it now because it's not called for now. And I'm doing that to really make a point about this, okay? The reason that language is in this, along with many of the other things that are going to trigger some people, is that I believe in brutal honesty. And I believe that we only can use brutal honesty because subtle honesty cannot be heard over the constant thundering of bullshit in our world. And there is no place more full of bullshit than a graduation ceremony from high school. Literally flowery words of bullshit steam out constantly. Well, what I noticed is that a lot of graduates, and it seems like it's, I'm going to be fair right now too. It doesn't seem like the kids graduating are the ones that really give a shit. It seems like well-meaning, caring, helicopter parent type adults are so worried that their children will be traumatized by not hearing music and walking down an aisle and hearing their name and fake applause for 15 seconds that's who seems more worried about this. I haven't seen a lot of young people really making a big deal about the fact that they're not going to have a graduation ceremony. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and read you the open letter that I wrote now. This, again, it's called My Open Honest Letter to 2020 High School Grads Who Won't Have a Ceremony. And if you send me hate mail because you don't like the use of my language in this, I'm just going to email back and say, I'm sorry, you're stupid. Okay? That should set the tone for this. Here we go. So now, are you sad because you won't walk down the aisle to special music? Don't be. I only went to my own graduation because I believed the lie that I would not get my diploma if I didn't go. I remember almost nothing about the ceremony, certainly none of the pretty words. I don't remember who got honors, can't tell you who the valedictorian was or the salutatorian, or any of the bullshit they said in the speech they likely worked on for hours of their life. And no one else can either. I can't even remember my principal's name. I don't care to look it up. In my opinion, a high school graduation ceremony can be summed up as excessive glorification of the most mundane accomplishment you will ever achieve. Millions do it every year, many with IQs that are sub 85. For what it's worth, 75 is the cutoff for retarded. Oh, did I trigger you? Did our education system condition that triggered response to that perfectly valid word inside your tender young mind? If so, buckle up, Buttercup. The ride gets rougher from here. High school graduation is a bullshit ceremony, grandiose words that do not apply to the people they are spoken to. Worse, those words are known to be lies by those who speak them. They are also known to be lies by the parents who want to believe for their special Sally or Sammy they do matter this time, even though they never mattered to them or anyone that they know. If you go to college next, it was a step on a path. If you go to the military or tech school, the same. If you right away start a business, it was the same. Just some shit you had to do to check a box for society. Nothing more. Don't pretend that it was. You won't gain anything by doing so. At this point, due to COVID, almost everyone has experienced homeschooling. So parents and students should now realize that our children spend 9 hours or more a day dedicated to school, but only about 3 of them are dedicated to actual education. The other 6 are for transportation and social programming, and this is by design. My grandson is knocking out 2 days of work at a time some days in 4 to 5 hours and spending the entire next day self-learning things that he actually cares about, playing and exploring on our property and working on his athletic abilities. I ask why the hell that should ever go back to the warped belief we call normal when this pandemic is over. I have no good answer to that question. No one else seems to either. His education has not suffered, it has expanded, and his life has improved. He's certainly happier this way. Here's my message to new graduates depressed about the lack of a formal ceremony. Good job. You got out of the system without hanging yourself in the bathroom. You ticked the box. Dealt with the bullshit. Be grateful the final lines of mental programming in your indoctrination were skipped. If they do it virtually, don't bother waiting to hear your name called. No one gives a fuck except you and your family. Say your own name if it makes you feel good, but you're better off having a taco night with the people you really love than Skyping into this bullshit. Get on with the deprogramming of yourself. The 13 years you just spent being controlled and preparing for the world was nonsense. You want to know what it actually prepared you for? Not one fucking thing as to the reality you're about to face. Those popular kids are in the same boat as you now. No one gives a fuck about them either. They never mattered. Don't pretend they did. The assignment you didn't do 3 years ago doesn't matter. Your permanent record is a lie. It is currently in a satchel being carried by a Sasquatch riding a unicorn over a rainbow to the neighborhood of make-believe. If you're going to college, use Excel, build a spreadsheet, and run the damn numbers on your chosen career. Your chosen career. If the numbers do not work, change your major or don't go. Do something else. Welders, even in this downturn, are making $80,000 a year with a certification in 6 to 12 months experience. Electricians and plumbing programs start at over $20 an hour with benefits. And ladies, you too can connect pipe and wire or learn to stick metal together. An electrician just did work for me this weekend. When he did so, he pocketed an extra $600 this weekend in side money because he can play with wires and not kill himself, and I can't, but I have money to pay for what I want. While others are laid off and can't pay their bills, he's making an extra $2,500 a month in side jobs, all cash, by the way. All while he also has a full-time job at $35 an hour with benefits on top of it. These are just a few examples. There are literally tens of thousands of ways to earn a damn good living, so find one you will enjoy. Your mom or dad who winces while reading this secretly wishes someone had been this honest with them when they were your age. If you are a mom or dad, can you find the courage to be honest with your kids now and tell them that this is all true? Can you be that brave and trust your child with the truth? Graduates, you want something valuable, maybe even more valuable than many degrees? Well, build a real social media presence on something fucking useful. Build something no one can ever take from you, a reputation and a network. Stop the stupid shit. Do something meaningful about something you're passionate about. Build on that and you will find others that respect you for it versus mocking you for being stupid while giving you loves. Real love can never come from a screen, no matter how big they make that heart emoji. No amount of followers will ever validate you, but if you do it right, they can fill your bank account. If you don't know what you are passionate about, find out. Do shit, anything, everything, and when you find you are doing something you could just keep doing, put it on your list. Then challenge your mind by asking your mental computer to answer this question. How can I do this thing and make it part of my life in a way that's profitable? Do that and you just might get an answer. You will likely get many, and that will give you choices. The current education system teaches laziness. There is an answer someone already found for you. You get a star for memorizing and regurgitating it. As I said, this has prepared you for exactly nothing in the real world. Look at the people who tell you that $100,000 in debt for a degree you don't even understand the point of is the only way to be happy in life. Are those fuckers really happy? Are they? Are they really? Ask them if they still owe money on their own degrees. Ask them what age they can retire comfortably at. How much do they owe Visa and MasterCard? Then ask them a big question. How much shit do they do, and how much stuff do they own, mostly for the sake of pleasing or impressing others? Then go find some really happy people. You will find some have degrees. Hell, some have PhDs. But some dig ditches. Some wire buildings. Some podcast for a living. Yes, this is a thing. Some install kitchens. Some grow food. Some study animals. They are as diverse as the stars in the sky, yet they have one commonality. At some point along the way, they realized what others said they needed to do was by its very nature a lie. No one can know what you should do any more than they can see a sunset for you or marvel at the stars on your behalf. The happy people in this world all got to a point where they said, fuck it. I'm living my life like it's the only life I have because it is. They became a word which has been bastardized to condition you to obey. Selfish. Selfish in the best way possible. To be truly selfish is not a bad thing. All truly happy people are selfish. All the people who really changed the world were also selfish. Again, in the best way possible. You have been told that to do what you want and take what you want at the expense of others is being selfish. That is not selfish. It is being an asshole. When I say to be selfish, it is not what I mean. Rather, what I want you to do is what is right for you and best for you. To walk your own path. Choose what you actually want, because the people telling you otherwise do not have to live with your choices. This is what I mean when I say to be selfish. All truly happy people are selfish in this way. I know this is counter to your conditioning, so choose a different word for it for now, if that helps you to accept it. It is that important. Until you learn to act in your own self-interest and not apologize for it, you will never be truly happy. In fact, until you do so, day to day, week by week, and year by year, you will actively build more misery into your life. What I'm describing is putting yourself first, and you should starting now. One day maybe you will have a spouse or kids of your own. Don't worry, this won't hurt such relationships. It will strengthen them. You will sacrifice for them because it will be what you want to do, not what some person with some title says you should do. Up until now, you've made most choices based on what you were told. Well, you can't actually become a grown-ass man or woman and continue to do so. This is why many of the adults around you seem like children. In many ways, they still are. They are still doing what others say they should instead of what they really want to be doing. They say it's because of responsibilities, but it's really just an excuse for their own failure to chase their own dreams. In the words of Richard Bach, the best way to avoid responsibilities is to say, I've got responsibilities. Live this way and you will be in charge of your life. Only then can you truly be the spouse your partner deserves, or the mother or father your sons and daughters deserve. Graduation ceremonies mean nothing. They never did, they never will. How you live your life is everything. The system just controlled you for 13 years. Never let that happen again. If you go to college, know why and use it. Don't let it use you. If you take a job, work like crazy. And when you can't learn anything more, move to something better. The world of working for 40 years and getting a golden watch has been dead for 50 years now. The people selling you on it have never even been part of it themselves. Ignore it. Ignore them. Build your life your way. Start now. I won't give you flowery bullshit about what's in store for you. Life's a fucking bitch unless you take command of it. And I can't tell you that you will. How would I know that? Look around. A huge percentage of adults are miserable, in debt, on meds for depression. Many of them are fat, sick, tired, and hope for a someday that they know is never coming. They use someday as an excuse for a lack of action today. Your journey to 40 seems like forever right now. It isn't. It will happen in the blink of an eye. Every second you spend thinking about someday instead of making today that day is a piece of your life wasted. This waste of the gift that is life is the true sin of our modern society. And we have found ways to label it as virtuous. In another 10 to 20 years, many of your generation will take the place of many very sad adults telling you what you should do right now. The next miserable, fat, in debt 30-year-old who's addicted to booze and hates their job could be you. I'm not going to lie to you about that. For 13 years, people lied to you. It was comforting. But like I said earlier, now the real world is here. It does not give the square root of fuck all about your feelings or your comfort. So I can't tell you that a mundane living or misery is not in your future. It will be for most of you. I can say it doesn't have to be. Design your life, or society will design it for you. Take control or be controlled. The choice is yours, but fret not at the fact that you won't sit in a gym or on a field or in some hall and listen to lies for hours only for 15 seconds of hearing your name amid false applause. It doesn't matter. It was never going to matter. See to what matters. That starts now. Guys, that's all I got. That's all I got. That's what I wish somebody would have told me when I was 17. Fortunately, there was a piece of me that always knew it, and I lived my life a little bit like this in the beginning, and more as life went on. But some of you that listened to that and said, man, I really want to share this with my kid, but it's just too brutal. Come on. The truth is brutal. If your kid's old enough, that they've walked out of that place that we call high school, and they're going on to the so-and-so called real world, which that school did nothing to prepare for them, go ahead and give them that 10 minutes of actual preparedness for the real world. They can handle the truth. But I'll tell you what, we don't have any more time to be lying to young people. That's the truth, guys.